President Cyril Ramaphosa will today answer questions at the National Council of Provinces. The social relief of distress grant, the impact of load shedding on service delivery, and South Africa's greylisting by the International Financial Action Task Force are among some of the questions he will be fielding. Our reporter Athi Mtongana is following the story for us, and she joins us live from Parliament with a preview. Good afternoon, Athi.
Well, a good afternoon to you, Dudu. You have just mentioned exactly the kind of questions that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be fielding in the National Council of Provinces this afternoon at 2 p.m. I'll just go through a few of them. I have the question paper in my hand. For example, the ANC in the Free State wants to know whether the President has a plan to continue the social relief of distress grant, whether there'll be a permanent alternative to this particular grant. The DA in the Northern Cape wants to know whether the President will commit to the national framework towards the professionalization of the public sector, considering the fact that the DA wants the ANC and the government entirely to do away with cadre deployment. Then the ANC in the Eastern Cape wants to know whether the impact of load shedding will affect service delivery sectors in the health sector. They want to know whether load shedding will have an impact on education, for example. Many sectors of society, they want to know whether there is a plan to deal with the impact of load shedding on service delivery. And then the FF+ in the Northwest wants to know whether the President is going to have a plan to trim his cabinet. We know that the recent reconfiguration of the National Executive has been met with a lot of criticism, a lot of opposition parties saying that the President has a bloated cabinet. And so the FF+ in the Northwest wants to know whether the President is planning to trim the cabinet. But I can assure you, Dudu, considering what the President said when he made the announcements of his changes in his cabinet, that he said some of these ministers and these ministries that he has created, and he's been accused of a super presidency, considering the fact that these two portfolios that he just added into the presidency, including the Minister of Electricity. He said during his announcement that these are for the short term and that in the future they will be minimizing the number of ministers in his cabinet. I'm sure he will obviously elaborate on those plans, on how he'll be planning to trim his cabinet. So those are the kind of questions that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be fielding in the NCOP. The NCOP, of course, made up of many members of Parliament from different provinces. So they are asking these questions based on the work that they do in the different provinces across the country. Right now, there is a motorcade. The President's motorcade is already here. We can see the Presidential Protection Services. The session is expected to start at 2 p.m. It is a hybrid session. Some of the members will obviously join through the online virtual platform, but we are expecting President Cyril Ramaphosa to orally reply to these questions that have been prepared by members of the National Council of Provinces.
Athi Mtongana, see you after 2 p.m. Thank you.